Hey y'all, hey. It's your girl, Queen Blahma Steady. And we are back, y'all, for another YouTube live reaction video, y'all. Happy Mother's Day to everybody's and everyone out there. I hope you guys are enjoying your beautiful Mother's Day as much as I am. I'm having a wonderful day, y'all. It's so laid back and just relaxed, girl. I was live with y'all earlier watching Amora Lex and Nick at Night's interview, y'all. Hey, welcome to the chat. Thank you for the happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to you also. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. We were watching Amora Lex and Nick at Night's interview from last night, y'all. If y'all didn't go check that video out, go ahead and check it out. We might check it out a little bit after this. But I went to Amora Lex Facebook page and somebody please explain this. Hmm. Is there welfare fraud going on there? Like what's going on? Something? Who knows, y'all? Child. Who was that girl name? Pookie Alana. Allison Alana. Remember, she wouldn't tell everybody that she's been kicked off of Section 8 and she was kicked out of her public housing for failure to pay. That's what I mean by what happened. There are resources out here. What happened? All right, y'all, we are back on Nick at Night's channel. We are back with the interview. Let's get it open. The interview we were watching this morning, y'all. If y'all didn't check it out, go ahead and check that live out also. This was a wonderful interview, y'all. I was having a good time watching before I came live. Then I came live and watched with y'all. And I got off of there, went in, minded my business a little bit. Now we about to watch it some more again, okay? Y'all smack that likety like button for your girl because it's free and it don't cost you nothing. If you are not subscribed to Nick at Night's channel, go on over and subscribe to Sis channel, y'all. Smack that bell notification on both of our channels. Make sure they say all not personalized and hit the like button. I'm going to hit play.
Mind you, I told you how I already felt like he was about to die. I kind of just seen it because I was telling him the messages like I'm worried. Please just come home. Just stay in the house. Like just chill. So, and it was like one of them. It was like one of the moments like you only see.
At this point in the video, she's describing the day and the night that she found out her baby father OD'd and he was unresponsive. She's explaining what happened that day and what led up to the baby father's mother saying that she killed the baby daddy. The baby daddy name is Alex, y'all.
On the movies, you go into the hospital, and it felt like this dude was driving so slow. It felt like it took 3 hours to get to the hospital. Like it felt forever. I finally get there. I walk in. I'm already fucking crying because I just found out like he's not responding So I walk in the hospital looking a hot fucking mess. I'm like, hey, I'm here to see Alex. They're asking me who I am, and I said I'm his girlfriend, but also told them that I was his fiance because we literally at that moment, like okay, so he actually has a big tattoo of me like right here on his arm. And me and him always had this thing. Remember I told you about that promise I made him that I would hold you down until I can't no more or be there for you?
Right.
So, it's crazy because like his name is Alex. My real name is Alexis. Yeah, I go by Amora or Lex, so Amora Lex, which is Amora is beautiful in Spanish. So beautiful Lex. So my name is Alexis. His name is Alex. My birthday is 11/21. His is 11/12. So,
okay.
We low key like always told each other like we had like them infinity links type shit. So, we always used to say forever and always. So anyway, around the time that he died, me and him was talking about marriage. I found out from his sister the very last thing that
It was like yin and yang, y'all, two little coke buddies together.
he said to her was, how would you feel if me and Alexis got married? Because he actually only has one sibling who can actually see I'm really not all as bad as the other ones. Now the other ones, I'm not gonna lie, they're fucking brainwashed. And I'm not even trying to be on here bashing because that's not really what I'm trying to do at all, regardless of what she's trying to do to me and my character and stuff. But the truth can never be a diss. This fucking psycho. Like, she needs help and fucking exorcism at least.
So what is she saying? Because so if you wasn't with him when he died, you wasn't there by the car. What is she telling you that she thinks that you did? Does she think that you gave him the drugs or what? Like what do she?
I don't know. I guess
said something about an IV bag, injecting something in an IV bag.
Who the fuck has access to an IV bag? I don't look that I ain't never heard that.
I'm trying to figure out what is exactly when she accused you of being the person to do it. What did she say that you did?
Because remember I was telling you like the fucked up shit that I was saying when like when he wasn't responding. So it was all of that stupid stuff. But also remember I told you when I was in Florida and he overdosed and I told him that he should have died. Don't get me wrong, I was coming from a hurt place when I said it, but I was also telling him some true shit. And I said there won't be a next time. You're gonna die next time. And I wasn't lying because look at not trying to sound rude or nothing, but look where we at. They're really the next time happened. Next time came and went. So that's why she thinks I killed him, because I got a slick ass mouth, but I'm gonna tell him the truth. And I told him there won't be a next time, and I wasn't lying. That's just the reality of drug users.
Because she feels like each time he had an experience where he was almost dead the last time, and then this time he actually died, you kind of were intertwined in that, is what her beef is. And because also too, because you were saying very mean things to him, saying that you wish that he did die and all that. So that's why
you. Yeah, and that was also like one of them things, like, how can I put it? You know how you ever heard like you're gonna bite the bullet or something like that? It was like it was one of them things where I learned the hard way that you don't say shit that you don't mean. Because granted, I didn't know he was already dead when I was texting him this shit, but you just don't mean you don't say
exactly
shit you
were
don't
you
mean.
saying when you texted him that they are like, what did you? So he at the time he passed, he's dead, and then you were texting him when he was in the hospital. Is that what it is?
No. So remember how I told you he was supposed to be coming home and stuff, and he's like, I got a surprise for you. And after he said I got a surprise for you, that's when he stopped responding. Okay. So when I'm still texting him, I didn't know that he had already so there's actually a picture.
Well, no, okay, so hold on, let me pause you. Sorry. Okay,
no, you're fine.
Okay, so you said that you seen him in the hospital, and then 2 days later he died. So that's why I'm trying to figure out, when did these texts happen? These texts happened before he went to the hospital?
Yeah, so the text happened while he was already unresponsive in his car, but nobody, literally at the time that I'm texting him, not even me, his cousin, nobody knows that this man is already in his car dead. Nobody knows. Okay. Or brain, he's breathing, but he's not there. His brain already lost too much oxygen.
Ciao, y'all. Hey, everybody, y'all. Welcome to the chat. Welcome. We are watching the Amora Lex interview on Neek at Night's channel, Love Bugs. I need y'all to smack that likety like button and go subscribe to Neek at Night's channel if you are not subscribed to her channel, y'all. Be careful what you say to people when you're angry. Be careful. Cause we already know you can't take it back once it's said. But child, we be angry and we be texting some crazy stuff, and it just be our blessings that whoever we text and actually make it home to us. Because the person that she was texting crazy didn't make it home to her. She's texting him and saying, I hope you it's gone, and I'm a pee on your grave, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna step on your face, and this and that, and he's unresponsive in his car, OD, and she can't ever take it back. She can act like it don't bother her, but trust and believe me, it seriously eats her up on the inside. If she truly didn't do anything to this man, it was truly just a OD, and she was texting all that crazy stuff, that is eating her up on the inside. She will never get over it.
Or whatever you want to call it. So he's just brain dead. Nobody knew that this man was like already dead in his car when I'm texting him this. So in my mind, from, you know, because I'm not there with him. So in my mind, I'm thinking he's doing the usual, ignoring me because he's out doing the extra fucking most. But in reality, he was already fucking dead because he was out there doing the most.
Okay, so before he goes to the hospital and gets transported because he's, you know, he's not responsive, what are you texting him exactly? What are you saying?
Ooh. I almost
Brace yourself for what she's saying. Remember, we listened to this earlier a little bit. I think we got off at like an hour and something. I don't even remember where the heck we was, y'all. Where did I say we were? Did I say we was at like an hour and 35 minutes or something? Oh, we was, because remember it went off. We was way up here somewhere, but we gonna keep listening. But brace yourselves for what she's getting ready to say, because just brace yourself, okay? And you know what? I still didn't fix my mimosa. Let me go fix my drink. God dang it. Happy Mother's Day to me. Happy Mother's Day to y'all. Mimosa for everybody, okay? You get a cranberry mimosa. You get a cranberry mimosa. You get one. You get one. You get one. If you don't drink, then you can have some cranberry juice, okay?
I promise you, it's like I vividly remember, but it's also 4 years ago. But I'm just like texting him literally.
Something along the lines of, just say like, I said something along the lines of XYZ.
Oh, well, something along the lines of, fuck you, I hope you die, I'm gonna piss on your grave, I'm gonna piss on your dad's grave. I know you're doing the fucking most after we was just getting to a good place. I know you're out there with a bitch in a bottle. And, you know, a bitch, a bottle, in a bag. Because the bag.
These are some wonderful interviews.
When I say a bag.
I don't know how she's able to keep her face straight. Like, the way my eyes would have popped out my head when she said that, like, I don't know how she could just stay so poker faced. She has a wonderful poker face. I freaking love it. I wouldn't be able to do it, child. I would have been blown away. You said what, ma'am? Oh shit, let me turn this camera off real quick so I can wipe this crack of smile off of my face, because she did not really just say that. But no, she's just keeping such a calm face, which is good because it makes Amora feel there's no judgment. She can't see any judgment on her face. The poker face is wonderful. I don't know if she had to work on that or what, but I love it.
I mean, the bag of coke, because also the other reason why I have not gone to jail, because, you know, I told you the FBI, they took a hold of anything that had my name attached to it. They overtook it, you know. But the reason I also didn't go to jail is because his toxicology report came back as nothing but cocaine and fentanyl in his system. And his cousin had also taken a picture of when she found him, and his head was laid back in the seat, and he had the bag of coke in his hand. Okay. That's why I ain't go to jail, because I ain't did it. I ain't do it.
Okay, and so because you had those text messages, and then he died at the same time that you're sending them, they wanted to investigate to see like whether it was you that gave him the fentanyl or if it was you that caused it.
So the reason why they investigated, because obviously, you know, they don't know what's going on, but everybody's saying, well, this person did it. So, you know, they're obviously going to investigate me because I'm the number one suspect by word of mouth. But as far as they're concerned, all evidence and all proof, because, you know, not only did they have to look at my phone and all my internet, I mean, not internet, but, you know, all of my social media and emails and stuff like that. They also had to look at his phone too and find out what he was doing leading up. So they could see that at the time, that around the time he bought the drugs, who he bought the drugs from, because also that lady is actually in jail for selling him the drugs that he died on. Yeah.
No, somebody is in jail taking responsibility for him.
Yeah, but she's not telling nobody that. Yes. So honestly, and the reality of it is, I didn't kill the man. He did that shit to himself, and she sold it to him. So she's already in jail because, like I said, they had to look at his phone where he bought the drugs when. But also when they pinged my IP address and looked at all the locations and all of that stuff, I'm all the way on the west side of the city. I mean, like far west side. I mean, like Galloway. Damn near a whole different city from, you know, where he's at. He's way out east. And, you know, they're looking at the times from the satellites, and obviously they got the messages that he bought the drugs from her. And also, which I don't know why his mom keeps saying I did it, because the same person that he bought the drugs from him, which actually did deliver the actual fatal dose of fentanyl, is the same fucking person he bought the shit from when I was in Florida. You went back to the same person who sold you the fentanyl the first time. That's fool me once, shame on you. Fool, like, you already know how that saying going. He did that shit to himself. And his mom, because she is so religious and kind of brainwashed and like a Jesus freak and all this other stuff, she, for one, nobody wants to accept that their son was a crackhead or a drug head or whatever. But that's really just the reality of it. You know, I don't want to.
All right, y'all. I got my mimosa. I have pink Moscato, cranberry juice, and mango puree. Yummy.
Of course, I'm gonna, not be so rude when I tell my son, because my son, I do want him to know that he really did love that little boy. He did love you, your dad. He was there every now and then, or the best he could and stuff like that. He really did love you, and I'm gonna make sure, because it's on his death certificate, and a drug overdose, and like the coroner's report.
That's crazy. She talking about, I'm gonna tell my son he really did love you and he was there for you when he could be. He was there for his son and he was there for her sons that she had before him. Um, child, child. That's crazy. That's crazy. If remember, she said that he took all of the kids to Chuck E. Cheese. He only had one kid with her. She had two before she got with him. He took all the children to Chuck E. Cheese. He treated the other ones like they were his.
I have the actual legal official documents. So the coroner's report also, outlines overdose. And like I said, she just doesn't want to accept it. But because around the time me and him was beefing when he died, I was also beefing with her because I was beefing with him. And it's easier to place the blame on somebody else than to accept that hurt that your son, you want somebody to blame. I wanted somebody to fucking blame. Shit, I still be trying to wanting people to blame, because even though I still hear stories in different stories.
All right, y'all, I'm gonna go up to where we were because, child, we done heard all of this. We listened to this morning. If you want to go back and listen to it, my live from this morning is titled She's No Mother's Day Drama or something like that. So you can go back and check it out. We watched it all the way, we listened to it all the way up until about an hour and 15 minutes.
Yep, it was actually at that time my best friend.
Oh, and she called CPS on you too?
Yeah, because and this stupid bitch, and she's actually dead.
You said she's dead? You went out. I can't hear you.
And this is where we got off this morning. Let's see. I'm gonna go through it.
Hold on.
She get her back up there.
Maybe her phone died. I don't know.
Probably.
Or
do apologize about that. My phone is back on do not disturb.
Okay.
I do apologize about that, y'all. Where was I saying? What was I saying?
Okay, so you were saying that
Now hold on, I'll tell her, Neek. I'll tell her. You said that she called CPS on you, and Neek said, "Who? Your best friend?" And you said, "Yeah." And you were saying that bitch actually died, and then it cut off. And Neek was like, "She died," but you weren't there. So that's where we are, ma'am. How many people called CPS on you? Is what we want to know. Child, this is a lie. But okay, I explained it for you. We gonna push play, y'all.
You were saying
Happy Mother's Day.
You were talking about the mom, I think, with the kids. How long the kids were gone?
Oh yeah.
It took you a year and a half to get them back.
Oh yeah, because I ended up like
Oh no, wait. You were talking about how the girl downstairs had called CPS on you too.
Yeah. So she actually was
and then you
my
said
best
she
friend.
Died. She dead now too.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, she did. So she had and this it was one of them days I had literally.
How did she die?
Shit, I don't know. It was just like one of them days I had just came outside for that day, and I don't know, like her and her dude had just like literally like I'm out there with them, just came outside because where I was living at that time, like I was kind of like the it girl.
That's crazy. Somebody in the comment section said it too. Said everybody dead. So everybody died. Like, God dang, girl, bye. And she just don't care about none of it. That person dead, they did, they did, they did, they did. I'll piss on his grave, spit on his, they did. What? Honey. Girl, the kids might be better off without you because this is too much.
So it's like everybody wanted to see me because like I'm so nurturing and kind and stuff like that when nobody pisses me off. Like I'm so caring and giving. So you know, I was kind of like the it girl out there. So it's like, you know, I kind of look out my window, see what's going on, see who's out there. Didn't even get to do it on the slide because here we go, Lex, hey girl, come out here, you know. And I was like, you know what, let me
Not she was the it girl out there, y'all. Child, I wonder how many times she's felt like she was the it girl in her life. Because right now, you can't tell her she's not the it girl. She said, I'm the shiz knees, bitch. I'm the only bitch you know gave my kids to C.P.S. willingly, and now I'm getting paid for it. Girl, you are the it girl. You're right about that. The it, as in creature. Yeah. So voluntarily drop your children off with C.P.S. You that it girl. You right. You right
let me just go outside and say hi. Somehow
surely
her and her dude end up getting into a physical altercation, and literally it's a couple other people who could corroborate this story with because they was right there too. And he's beating the dog shit out of her. So me at that time, that's my best friend. I'm okay. I don't know what you're arguing about, but I ain't about to get beat by no grown ass man. I already have my own problems like that before. So, you know, I'm gonna just break y'all up. You know, me being a friend, I'm like, girl, stay out here with me talking, you know, go in your house, you know, get some water, clean yourself up, something. And obviously, so
she says she already had those problems before. Understand, in the video earlier, I don't even remember where it was. It might have been around 30 or 40 or something like that. She goes on to tell us how she beat the shit out of Alex and busted his lips and blacked his eyes. She went to jail for beating up her baby daddy, right? She said, girl, I ain't about to get beat up by a grown man. I already had my problems like that before. Excuse me. Excuse me. You beat him the fuck up. It's very strange how she goes on to bash this man that's not here to protect himself, but in the same fucking breath she tells us that she beat him up, busted his lips, blacked his eyes, and she went to jail. Okay, all right, but you was scared to fight your best friend, baby daddy. Then you wasn't scared to fight this drug addict that you say he's a drug addict, not me. I'm not saying that. You ain't scared to fight him, but you scared to fight her baby daddy. Girl, bye. You should have went upside his head, busted his lips, blacked his eyes too.
So they don't fight again, you know, to stop him from beating her ass. I felt like I was doing the right thing. I told him to go upstairs and go in my apartment and sit down. Mind you, he ain't never been up there before. Obviously, for the situation, I felt like it was appropriate for him to go upstairs and calm down. So to stop them from fighting. She's drunk. I'm out.
So you sent the man that was beating his girl up to your apartment where your children were. Child, you didn't tell him go sleep. You didn't tell him to go home. This is your best friend, so she can come upstairs to your apartment with you. He can go in the house and go to sleep. You told him to go to your apartment where your children are.
Out there with the bitch, okay? So she's like, why is my man upstairs in your apartment? You want my man? And I'm like, girl, don't nobody want your man but you. So she got mad because she's drunk. She's mad because her dude's in my apartment. Obviously, this is stupid ass shit. And that dusty. Anyway, literally don't nobody want her man but her. So she gets mad. She calls children's services on me. And literally her fucking the reason why I flipped out on her
with the curse words though, the curse words.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. So the reason why I flipped out on her and it, like, you know, it made me so mad because you call children's services on me just to tell them that sometimes I say, can you come and sit with not your grandson, but your godchild so I can walk around the corner to go get some milk? What was you just causing problems for me for no reason over when I'm trying to help you out? I could have just stayed in the house for that damn, I could have stayed in the house for all that, I'll care. So anyway, they come, they tell me their, all the reports and all that other stuff. Oh, that we're taking the kids. I flip out, try to do that. They was like, okay, we're about to give you two options. We're either about to tase you and take you to jail, or you better you calm down.
Mm-hmm.
So, I calmed down for $200. I'm gonna go in the house. It's cool. Y'all got that. So, I dealt with all of that. I actually did not leave the house, didn't communicate with nobody for 3 months. Like, I kid you not. Like, my mama could not even reach to me. Like, I would look at her messages and not even reply, like, for 3 months straight. Nobody could see me, hear me, nothing. So around that time, I'm like, okay, I can't just be sitting in the house feeling sorry for myself. I have to.
So for 3 months after C.P.S took her kids, she just ignored everybody. So did you at least communicate with C.P.S? 3 months, that's a lot of time that you could have been jumping through whatever loops you needed to go through to get your kids back. You could have almost been done at 3 months, honestly. I
I got to get a plan, but my kids was falsely taken from me for something I had nothing to do with, like literally no ties, no nothing, So it was like, I ain't gonna lie, I was broken, battered, belittled, like I just felt worthless, So after them 3 months, I got up, I devised me a little plan, got me a.
I don't think she's telling the whole truth about that story. Remember, she already told us that her children were truant from school and everything else. So that's what we was like, dang, how many people calling C.P.S on you? At this point, everybody's calling C.P.S. I don't think that that's true. And like y'all said, C.P.S ain't gonna come and say, hey, your downstairs neighbor told us this. No, they don't.
The car, well, started working. I got me a car. I opened a franchise. I was Ubering on top of that. Like, I actually got 5 incomes. And then I met, my twins' dad somewhere in the process of me giving rides and stuff. And, at this point, it's 3-4 months in. I'm like, whatever, I deserve a life or whatever. So at this time, I still was on birth control, so I had no plans on having kids or nothing. And we started messing with each other, and I already told him, for one, he's not my type. He don't have.
Listen, y'all, listen to what she's saying. She met the baby daddy while doing some delivery stuff. After a few months, she said, well, I need a life. I was already still on birth control. Understand, her children have already been taken by C.P.S. I don't know if she got them back, but the kids been taken by C.P.S already. So why would you even be thinking about your birth control? And what do you mean by you deserve a life? Listen to what she's saying.
Have enough hustle in him, but I'm not really the type to where I wanted at that moment. I really wanted to go out and venture. It was like, fuck it, excuse my language. I'm like, forget it, he's right here. It's something to do, literally something to do. So, we're messing around for a little bit of time, and like I said, I still don't want nothing serious. And I'm on birth control, but I am fertile. I'm very fertile. So my youngest son, he's actually a birth control baby. So when he slipped up and decided to, like, can I say that on this channel?
Y'all hear what she said? Her youngest son is a birth control baby. I'm real fertile.
I think we're all old enough to know what
he finished and planted his seed.
There we go. So yeah, and I'm like, it sure won't be me. So I took a plan B. What I didn't know is that even if you're on birth control and you take a plan B, I didn't know they canceled each other out. So me trying to make sure he didn't end up my baby dad kind of not made me, but it kind of, it backfired, because she's like, oh, you tried to get rid of me before I was born. Well, here I am and meet my sister. So
we all listening to this, right? She said she was on birth control and they was doing they do and was gonna be together, and he skeeted ski get it sexy. Oh my gosh, that I cannot with Sexy Red, y'all. Child, right. But he decided to ski, and something for some reason this time she got pregnant. But she decided to take a plan B. So my question is, you was already on birth control. Were you taking plan Bs every time he skied? Or this was just the first time that y'all didn't use any protection and he skied up inside of you and you got pregnant, although you took a plan B and you were on birth control. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Like physically, I can't believe it. Even if I want to trick myself into believing it, I just can't let myself believe it. I don't believe it. I think she's lying. But carry on.
That's how they came. Now, when
that poker face show went off. That poker face kind of cracked a little bit. I love it, Meek. Girl, where did the poker face? Girl, we feeling the same way. So you don't believe it either, Meek? I don't believe it. The poker face is here. It's cracking slowly. It's just slowly
it
cracking,
backfired
y'all.
because she's
Here we
like, "Oh,
go.
you tried to get rid of me before I was born. Well, here I am and meet my
Child
sister."
bye.
So, that's how they
I'm
came.
too done.
Now, when I found out I was pregnant, I didn't find out till I was like 4 months because I was just having severe back pain, but I was still having my periods.
Oh
So
my
when I went to the hospital, they was like, "Oh, you're pregnant." I'm like, mind you, I'm like, not me. You got the wrong one because, like, mind you, I'm on birth control. I took the plan B. It's just I'm thinking, things is sweet. There's like, nah, it's you, and I'm like, it's anybody but me. Like, no, it's you. So long story short, they did my test twice to, kind of shut me up. I was still pregnant, and shortly. So when they set my first ultrasound, I was kind of like, I don't want to be here, but I'm not gonna lie, I had got perked up and excited because when I went in for the first ultrasound, there wasn't a bag. I mean, no, there was a bag, but there was nothing there, not a dot, not nothing. So they was like, okay.
Well, you say you got perked up while you was pregnant?
No, no, not perked up.
Shit, this is funny, right? She said, "Hold on." So you got perked up while he was pregnant? Oh, Amora Lex, girl. If you stop talking about all the crazy drugs and stuff, people wouldn't just assume something like that. That's hilarious.
Not like
Ain't
perks
no way.
and Zans and
Oh,
stuff.
I
Like,
thought you meant
no. I mean, like perked up, like I got happy, like excited, like.
Child.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Girl, you gotta be, girl. I don't, it's all these slang words. I gotta be clear.
Look, nothing since 2017. Nothing since 2017. So anyway,
Child.
so yeah, I got perked up or happy or overexcited because.
So she was on Perkies in 2017, is what she's saying?
When I went in, there was a bag, but there was nothing in there. And it was like, well, for what your HCG level is measuring or whatever, like, there should be something there. So they said, come back. There was nothing there again that following week. So they said, okay, well, it's now going on the third week. You still don't have nothing in the bag. So come back on that third appointment. They were going to give me the little stuff for the DNC or whatever the method or process is. Excuse me. So, excuse me. So when
So I'm confused. All these ultrasounds that they're doing, although they see the bag and you saying they don't see anything in the bag, there was no heartbeat detected. Like, man, this girl in these stories. And you went for multiple ultrasounds and there was no heartbeat detected. We don't care what they see. They can listen. Child.
On that third visit, when I went, something popped up in the bag. Something was there. And I was like, oh, so this is what y'all gonna do. So they was like, oh, okay. Well, you know what? Just come back next week. So literally I was going back to the doctor every week to, try to be proactive on this. So also at this time, we also still had the abortions were banned here, like once there was a heartbeat.
Child, I'm gonna go ahead a little bit in this story because I don't know, but now remember she said C.P.S. took her kids, right? And then she said she was in the bed for 3 months, not communicating with anybody. And then she said that she got all these jobs and got her life together and she met the baby daddy. Did the kids come out of C.P.S. custody or were the children still in C.P.S. custody while she's meeting the new baby daddy and getting pregnant with the new kids? Like, I don't know. Because she told us that she lost custody of the kids for 15 months to C.P.S. Was this that time? I don't know, y'all.
And stuff. So the reason why also it took the 4 weeks because there wasn't nothing in the bag. So everybody's thinking there ain't no baby. So on that third week when the baby popped up or whatever, not the third week, but that third visit when something popped up in the bag, they was like, oh, okay, well, just come back. We're going to see what's going on, what it's looking like then. So when I went, it went from nothing to a dot. And then when I went back on that fourth visit, that dot turned into two large dots with heartbeats. And I was like, well, I mean,
Girl,
I'm only so big. Where was they at? So I was like,
okay. Because y'all remember how Neek was confused at first. I'm confused now. I feel like I need to take out a paper and keep notes, but it's too far for me to go back. Do y'all remember? Did she say she was 3 months pregnant when she found out? Like a little bit ago, when she was talking about how she found out she was pregnant. I can swear she said I was 3 months pregnant when I found out I was pregnant. So I'm just going to assume that's what she said. So at 3 months pregnant, she went in 3 times. They seen nothing in the sack. They seen the sack, but they seen nothing there. Then all of a sudden they seen a dot. Then she went back and they seen 2 big dots with heartbeats. So I know for a fact that you can hear a heartbeat um at 4 weeks. So 3 months pregnant, you're saying you went in 3 separate times and they seen the sack, but no dot, but they didn't hear a heartbeat then? They should have been able to hear heartbeats then. Even if they don't see nothing but the sack, they can hear the heartbeat.
they already got heartbeats. So I'm like, okay, so obviously it's too late. So while I was freshly pregnant, I was excited because once I realized I was like, okay, well, obviously can't abort them or nothing. So
I don't know
I was
either.
kind of getting excited, and then I was like, oh, they're twins. I was like, what if they're my girls? They I finally got girls. Like I was kind of, making myself happy, granted who the dad was, but then of course dealing with who I was dealing with, like turns out he had a pill problem. And I got this man on video leaning, looking like a junkie and everything. But yeah, but it don't matter. But
Last baby daddy was on drugs too. He was on pills.
Yeah, honestly, I can't say he's doing that now because I don't talk to him.
Thank you for clarifying that, Nick. I'm just like, hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, no. So you're telling us that the first baby daddy R-worded you and that got you knocked up twice. And then the second baby daddy is addicted to cocaine and he's an addict and he OD'd from being an addict. And now you're telling us the third baby daddy is addicted to pills? And you the innocent one out of all this.
I haven't seen him since sometime December when I had tried to drop my daughters off to him. Well, because it wasn't like, oh, mutual, like, hey, come get the girls. That was my first time reaching out to him in almost a year or two or however long, like, hey, did you know that your girls over here still exist type thing? So he was like, oh, yeah, you know what? He was trying to play.
Hear how her voice kind of starts cracking when she's talking about that baby daddy. Every time she's talking about that baby daddy, she get kind of crybaby-ish.
A part of, oh yeah, what are they doing? How are they? And then he's like, yeah, I'm gonna come and see them and pick them up tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, because well, obviously not now, but like when I tell you, I kept trying to get this man to have a bond with his daughter. He's like, you don't have to like me. We don't have to get along. In fact, we don't have to talk about nothing but pick up, drop off, anything emergency wise or food wise when it comes to these girls. We couldn't even do that because he wasn't involved. So when I saw him in December, this is now day 4 of him saying, oh yeah, I'm about to come get him. And I was like already going through some crazy stuff. So he was with his baby mama at that time. And, I'm sorry, y'all. This car fucking sucks. Anyway, he was at his living with his baby mama at the time. Huh?
You all right? What happened right there? What happened?
Oh, the light keeps cutting off in the car.
Oh, you better start your car and so that your battery don't die.
Oh, okay, there we go. So,
yeah, start for a little bit because girl, your battery gonna die all that light.
Yeah.
Girl,
So,
you got to turn the whole car on. I didn't. Did we hear the car start? She just turned it over, so the battery gonna die quicker.
Okay, there we go. So,
yeah, start for a little bit because girl, your battery gonna die all that light.
Yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh, so yeah. Anyway.
Also, this is not the Instagram she gave out the other day. She said something else, Lex. It was something with an S or something like that. She didn't give this Lamborghini Lex Instagram out. So she got another Instagram account out there.
Found out I was pregnant with the girls. I actually spent my entire. Well, I'm not gonna make it seem like he wasn't there. I mean, okay, he was present in and out, but he wasn't like actually there. You know, I'm not gonna make it seem like he was somebody I could really call on or talk to when I was pregnant.
Gonna die quicker now.
But I'm not gonna lie.
Start the car.
It was because I had some severe hyperemesis. Like you see, like the way I'm sitting now. Like even if I turned my head to the side, I would like. It was so bad. Like I was in the hospital 3 times a week. My back gave out. My hips gave out. So, you know, obviously I was also on bed rest too. So at one point, I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't work. I couldn't even go to the food pantry. I couldn't do nothing. The only time, it's too.
She cracks up a lot when it comes to talking about this baby daddy. Like she still want him. Something. She's emotionally attached to him highly.
2 times this man, and I'm not about to take it from him because, you know, it could be completely at a 0, but we at 2, so I'm gonna give it to him. It's 2 times this man came through. One was extremely late, but he still came through, and I was with formula for my daughters because, you know, this is when the formula shortage was like at an all-time high. Because you know, but by the time that he decided to, you know, try to put the differences aside for our daughters, I had already went to Cincinnati. Mind you, I'm in Cleveland. I already drove to Cincinnati for 4 cans of formula and drove back. But he did pop up with 12 cans of baby formula. How he got it, I don't know, but he sure to help. Sorry, he sure got it. I'm not gonna take that from him. And like I said, I was
probably the same way you got it. You saying he came late, he probably had to drive around and get all the formula. Same as you drove 4 hours, he might have had to drive to get the formula, sis.
was on bed rest. I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. And mind you, he is a last resort. He's anybody's last resort, you know, because yeah, it's just not gonna happen. So he was my last resort. I called him. I said, "Hey, I'm hungry." That man had something, you know, delivered, and those are the only 2 times I got help from him. Oh, and well, December, because I forcefully dropped my daughters off because, like I said,
wow. So she called him, although they weren't together. She said, "I'm hungry," and he had her food delivered. Okay.
It's going on 4 days. He's talking about I'm about to see him and pick him up and stuff.
Okay.
I had some serious stuff going on. I wasn't having it. I'm like, oh, here we go. So I pulled up at his baby mama's house. I knocked on her door. You know, they got cameras. I know y'all can see I'm here, but I knew he was in there because he kept lying saying he was at work, but I could hear his son playing in the background. You at your baby mama house. So I knocked on the door. Nobody came out. So I walked back to my car to grab my phone. So as I grab my phone, I turn around. I'm walking back up to the house. I see him coming around the back. So I'm like, I wear glasses. So it's a little dark. So I'm like, looking like, is that him? And I was like, oh, it is him. So I waited till he got, close up by the porch where my daughters was. And I said, well, there go your daughters. Have a good night. Go ahead and be a dad. And I sure did drive off. But it's not like I just left them on the porch with no supervision. I made sure he saw them. He was standing right next to them. Now you ain't got no choice but to do something for him. So he got mad because, and he had them he didn't have them, but his baby mom had them for 4 days. But the entire 4 days that he had them, which me and her actually ended up.
Let me tell you, girl. I would have had them babies while he was at work. But as soon as he got off of work, I would have found you and I would have beat the dog crap out of you. I would have, girl, I would have dog walked you up and down whatever curb you was on. Because first of all, don't you ever pull up to my house. Secondly, who the fuck do you think you are to drop your children off at my home? I don't care that those is his kids. Obviously, y'all don't get along like that. We not bumping like that. You don't have the right to pull up and drop nothing at my house. But I'm gonna take care of these kids. I'm a beat girl. I would beat the dog crap out of you, sis. I would have dog walked you and went home and took care of your kids. What you talking about? And you wouldn't have got them back in 4 days. Trust and believe me.
Up exchanging, like, talking on Facebook because he was he's still so immature. The 4 days that he had them, he called children's services, tried to tell them that my kids was malnutritioned and all of that, which is not true because his baby mom will tell you when she picked them up, his sister actually talked to his sister when she was there.
Okay, wait. So you said when he got the kids, you dropped them off and then you drove off. Like you made sure he had them, but then you drove off. And then he had them for 4 days. So when he had them for 4 days, then he called and said that they were malnutrition.
Yeah, he called them, tried to say that they was malnutritioned. He tried to say that they had an ear infection and all.
I'm pretty sure he called. I don't know what day she dropped them off, if it was on the Friday night or what. She said it was dark, so it was nighttime. He probably called C.P.S. the next business day. That might have been Monday or what, but he probably called C.P.S. then. And it is what it is, as he should. Anytime that you just drop the kids off in the middle of the night or at nighttime or 8 p.m. or whatever time it is. And then she said she was going to the car to get her phone, but she was probably going to pull off. She was probably going to pull off, drop them babies off on the dang on porch and left. He probably waited until the business day and called C.P.S. on her ass, as he should have. And it wouldn't have even been to like call and report her like, hey, she did this, but it is to call and report her. Hey, she did this. My children look like this. My children are in my custody now, and she does not have the right to come back and get them. Period. Talk to her, C.P.S. I got my kids. And that would have been what it was.
All that stuff. But what he didn't know, they literally already had a doctor's appointment like 2 days prior to that.
Child.
So there wasn't nothing wrong with them. So he tried it and then
so they did have an ear infection. She said they already had a doctor's appointment set up. Girl, bye.
Turns out, which actually have that recorded. Turns out he actually called children's services on me because he was saying that he was trying to get the kids so he could try to use them to try to get a house. And I was like, you do realize that if you go to court and we get 50-50 custody, you still might be able to do something, but you trying to do all this extra stuff. So I kept, I would text him. I'm like, how are the girls doing? He would text me, you'll never see them again. Then like, he would just like text me stuff that don't have nothing to do with nothing. Like if I was to call him about his daughters.
So basically he was trying to get the paperwork together to be able to get a big enough house for the girls. She said he called C.P.S. and he was just trying to use my kids to get a house. I don't know how many kids him and his baby mama had, and you just randomly pulled up and dropped 2 more off. But if he needs to report you, and if it needs to be a black and white paperwork trail for them to qualify for a bigger house, then that's what the fuck gotta be done. You shouldn't have dropped your damn kids off. You should not have abandoned them. So how many times has she actually abandoned her children, y'all? This is the question.
He's going to talk about our relationship from however many years ago. Like it never stays on just the topic of our daughters. It literally goes to anything else but our daughters. And I ain't trying to talk about nothing else but our daughters. Like I just need to talk about how you gonna be a dad. If you ain't, that's why we don't talk, because there's nothing to talk about. So also like the night when I dropped them off at children's services and stuff like that, the cops actually talked to him on the phone. He told them he didn't want them because he got 2 babies on the way by 2 other women. Child. And I'm like, well, good luck to them. I mean, I guess, but
Yeah.
you know, that I'm like, okay, well, that don't really have nothing to do why you can't do nothing for them, because, you know, my daughters are almost 3. They don't know him. Like, I'm not gonna make it seem like I haven't tried to take the initiative to, you know, get them to get a bond, because it's a couple times I've tried to FaceTime him and just put the, you know, the phone on the kids and, you know, anything. When he get on the camera, they look and they look at me. They like, who is this man, mommy? Well, of course they don't say it, but their looks say it all. But yeah, that's just like the backstory with him. And you know, he actually was also, I'm not even gonna beat you, he was also abusive as well. He was more physically abusive, more so than verbally abusive, because he was, for the most part, you know, off the Xans. And
Child.
I tried to him, because mind you, when I met him, I had 5 incomes. He actually messed up all 5 incomes for me, because he's not like business minded, so he don't understand how it works to own a franchise. So my franchise, you know, I was actually really starting to really like kind of take off. Like, I was getting contracts with Pepsi, Coca-Cola, like really like all different type of you know, contracts and stuff. So
contracts doing what?
So I would go and clean their warehouses, schools, government buildings, you know, and it wasn't like it was a franchise, so all that money was coming back to me. So I was getting paid by per square foot or something. So if I'm getting paid per, you know, square foot or whatever, some of these places are like 300, 3,000 and higher, you know. So he didn't realize that sometimes when you're owning your own business, mind you, I don't know if you can kind of tell, but I'm trying to get to the money. So I'm the same way money minded as I was then. So, you know, I'm going to take every opportunity. So if they call me, if, you know, headquarters call me at 3:00 in the morning, hey, or text me saying, hey, we got this new contract for you. I'm going to pick up that phone call. But what he would do behind my back, thinking that, because he's very insecure, like he can't dish out the same type of hurt he gave.
What she's saying don't make sense, y'all. And we've said that so many times. It's just ridiculous at this point. Every story that she's giving us, it's none of them are making sense. Nothing is making sense.
People. So mind you, I've never cheated on nobody I've ever been with, because I know how it feels to be cheated on. So anyway, he would text these different companies behind my back, some, you know, some unprofessional, you know, straight BS. So I ended up losing my franchise, because they're just like, no, we got to cut ties with you because it's getting bad. Or if I would have to go clean, you know, like, these are businesses. You have some of these places, you have to have clearance, authorization, or badges to get through. He think I'm about to just pull up with him while he's sitting in my car for hours while I'm in this place cleaning, because he's so worried about what I'm doing. So I'm like, okay. And that's also why I took a plan B, because also he was so worried about what I'm doing, about what type of money I'm making. He wasn't even seeing his daughter that his aunt had 24/7. And I'm like, bro, you want to go see your daughter? I can take you to go see your daughter, because you're not about to be up my butt. So, and I'm like, okay, he don't want to go see his daughter. He want to be up. He trying to be up under my butt. Keep asking me for money here and there. Like, well, not even here and there. This is every single day, nonstop. And I don't have a problem with, you know, doing my part for whoever I'm with. You know, you're with somebody to give and to take from, or whatever the case is. Because when I found out I was pregnant, then we did try a relationship. We found out real quick. I found out real quick that he was the one, like 3 weeks in. So, 3 weeks into the relationship, and I ended that. So I spent my whole pregnancy by myself. So, so once I realized he just didn't have like no hustle, and, you know, I'm like, okay, he make it seem like he's such a street dude, and, you know, he's so hard body and stuff. So I'm like, well, I mean, you jumped off the porch and this is the life you so desperately want. Here you go. So, and this is how I found out he had the pill problem. Let me tell you. So I'm like, okay, you don't want to go get no job. You got every excuse, but you such a hard body street dude and you sell this, and that. Okay, well, here, you ain't about to keep being in my pockets. I bought him a bundle of whatever. Mind you, this is years ago. So I bought him a bundle.
Child, by this girl, I'm too done with her. I went and got me some hot chips, y'all. She bought him a bundle. Everybody pill heads and everything else but her. Everybody calling C.P.S. Kids them in C.P.S. custody multiple times. It's everybody's fault but hers. This is a mess.
Of like 200, it was well over 200 pills or whatever, perks, and not perks, but Xanax and stuff like that.
What did we talk about?
This dude sold 30 and took the rest.
200 pills, you said? What?
I spent so mind you, I had 5 income, so I wasn't about to give him like a thousands and nothing like that. It was just like enough for him to get started to get out of my face. So
it was for him to flip it.
Yeah, so he can get out of my face, do something with his life. So I gave him the sauce. I gave him the bundle of I didn't buy it because I don't know nothing about all of that. But I took him. He went to go buy it.
She lying. You see how she indicted herself? Then she tried to take it back real quick. She said, "Hold on, well, I didn't buy it. I don't know anything about that." Nah, you told us enough.
Took 30. No, he sold 30, and he took the rest. So I tried to give him the sauce, and he completely botched that. So I'm like, okay, you don't have no hustle. You ain't got nothing going for yourself. I just tried to put money in your pocket, and you just. Then I found out, like, because me trying to help him get money or whatever. That's how I also found out he had the pill problem, because this man, okay, the way it happened is, I'm not gonna lie, like, he used to smoke a lot of weed, so sometimes he'd be a little slow or whatever. So I'm thinking one day, he's just extremely high and smoked himself out or something, and because he looking real weird, and I'm trying to like real weird. So I'm like, I'm pregnant, like I'm actually showing and everything. So I'm looking at him, I'm like, you good? He's like, yeah, I'm cool. Like, he's starting to like slur his speech and stuff. So I'm like, okay. I'm just like, I think nothing of him, like, whatever. He just extra smoked out or whatever. The reason I realized it wasn't him smoking out, like, being smoked out, how like them people be standing when they hit the pipe, how they will be leaning and stuff and whatnot. So I'm like,
I don't know what that's like. What?
No, like, like, you ever seen on the videos where people like of the people who are on drugs, how they're leaning against the wall, they're falling and dropping slowly and stuff.
Okay, like,
no.
Some be like the people that be
so
like, okay.
He was doing that, but oh, thank you. He was doing that, and
who is that?
That was my sister.
I knew I wasn't tripping. I heard somebody tap on the window earlier, and she turned the camera real quick, and she didn't say nothing to nobody.
I told you family was in town and stuff. Yeah. But
I knew I wasn't tripping.
She just brought you some food.
Yeah. So he was like doing that, but and I'm like, mind you, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm so smart, but I'm like, at this time I was
wait, hold on, wait. You live with your sister?
No. I have my own house. Like, I have my own house, at least for right now. But family's in town, and it's Mother's Day weekend, so we're kind of just at OB.
Yeah, I'm crunching on my little checks. So much for me thinking she was homeless, and that's why she gave the kids up. So she actually has a place, y'all. Ciao, bye.
Here, huh?
Oh, you're not at home. You at a family's house?
Yeah, because I think I was talking to you when I was walking to the store earlier. Yeah, so like, it's Mother's Day's week. You know what I'm trying to say. So the family festivity and all of that. So like, not only is he like standing and stuff like that, and I'm really smart, but at that time, I got pregnancy brain. I'm a little slow.
So her family, she said that's her sister and her family in town for Mother's Day weekend, right? They actually socializing with her. She would not be fucking talking to me. I wouldn't have a god dang on word to say to her. You didn't drop your kids off at C.P.S? Girl, please, we ain't got nothing to say to you. We are not family anymore at all. Also, the family's in town to celebrate Mother's Day, but remember she said her family wasn't shit and nobody helped, and she got to pay for this and pay for that, and they don't help and this and that. Okay.
A little bit like, still not really thinking nothing of it. And I'm like, okay, it's not that hard. If you that tired, just go to sleep. Like, I'm really looking at him like, yeah, I'm just like, just go to sleep. So when I realized it was more than that, is not only was he dropping his stuff, but he was also like walking like that too. But he started running into the wall. That was like, he's running into walls. And I'm like,
oh, wow.
Like, I'm like, okay, you're not high. I mean, you're high, but you're not high off no weed. Like, something's going on.
Right.
Found out, I see because he's all messed up and stuff, I don't know, his pants fall and the pills fall out his pocket, and I'm like, oh, damn, that's cold. So it's like, I figured out, put 2 and 2 together. And then he came clean about it. He, because he also, like, he would just start flipping out of nowhere. Like, I would wake up, and I remember one time he actually made me lose my car. Well, he crashed my car because he was mad about, he was high off the Zans and stuff. He crashed my car because he got mad about some stuff he had put together in his head. So anyway, like, he would do like certain stuff, like, because he's off the Zans and those make you aggressive and stuff. Like, I would go to I would walk to Popeyes and I would get him some chicken. And then, mind you, I told you he was very insecure and he's off the Zans. So he's, where are you? What are you doing? Da, 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 da. So when I came back, like, he would do like weird stuff. Like, he would smack the chicken out my hand, like, all, put the food all over the place, like, destroy everything I got, like my TVs, punch holes in the walls and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and, and also, of course, putting his hands on me, like I said. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and be done with you. So I spent my whole pregnancy alone because it was better than to be around that. And it's like,
okay, let me pause you 1 second. All right, so while you're in a relationship with him, he's your last baby daddy. You pregnant by him with twins. You said your kids were in C.P.S. for a year and a half. So while you're pregnant with twins with him, your kids were where? Were they in C.P.S. still at the time, or?
Yeah, and that's how, like, I also, like, I really wasn't trying to have no more kids, because why would I be trying to have kids if I'm trying to get the last ones back? But, like I said, the whole birth control and plan B type of thing, so that's how I ended up pregnant with them, and, still without the other kids and stuff. So, also, like, I don't know if you know what, like, placenta previa is, but how I told you I couldn't really carry my twins. I was on bed rest and all that other stuff. My twins were 2 pounds when they were born. Like, they were, like, let me see if I can, let me see. Sorry. So, like, this is my hand. Like, my twins were, like, this big when they were born. Like, they really weren't big at all. And it wasn't no fault of my own. It's not like I was abusing drugs or anything like that. I mean, don't worry, I was smoking weed while I was pregnant because my hyperemesis, like, that was the only way I could do anything. Like, it was.
Wow. Okay, so for her to jump and say it wasn't no fault of my own, she thinks it's her fault. I got to sneeze. Bless me. Bless me. Oh my gosh. It's because she thinks it's her fault, which she should think it's her fault.
So bad. But anyway, my placenta was actually detaching from my uterine wall. And if it would have detached, like, completely, it would have killed them instantly. But the night that they were born, so they actually tried to come once when I was 14 weeks, another time when I was 19 weeks. So when they came at 29 weeks, I had just went into the hospital a day, like, literally 24 hours prior. Well, actually, no, let me rewind it back. I went to the hospital 2 weeks prior because I ended up actually went into preterm labor trying to do my brother's hair. Well, not try. I slayed and stuff. But anyway, I went into preterm labor. I ended up dilating. So I ended up spending quite some time in the hospital. And I'm not gonna lie, when I did went into preterm labor for the first time, I did let him know, because at this time I didn't talk to him for like 3 months or whatever. But when I had went into preterm labor, he did come and sit at the hospital with me for, I think, however long I was in there, he was there. So when I got out the hospital, we kind of just went our separate ways because it wasn't that. And he was also going back and forth between all his other baby mamas and stuff. It was really like fucking, excuse my language. It was a circus for real.
You keep saying I ain't gonna lie. You're lying.
But so 2 weeks went by. The 2 weeks. I was in preterm labor, so the 2 weeks went by. That's when they tried to come again. So I had went to Grant this time. And the first time I went into preterm labor, I dilated to 1. So the second time, I was at 1.5, almost 2, and they was like, well, at this point, if they're gonna come, they're gonna come. We're not gonna stop them. And I'm already stuck with them. I can't, I couldn't abort them or nothing, so I've already fallen in love with these girls, and then they're telling me if they're gonna come, they're gonna come. They're not gonna stop them. So it was just like, okay, does that mean you guys are gonna try to save their lives, or they're just gonna die? Like, so. Thank God I was far enough to where they were able to save their lives. But once they sent me home, I was like, okay. Because also my contractions were 5 minutes apart, like from the moment they sent me home all the way up until leading to. So the next day, it's like nighttime. We're laying down because he actually was with me that night from, when I went to the hospital, and then he sent me home. So he stayed with me because we knew that they were going to come. We just didn't know when, because they weren't trying to stay in for nothing. So that very next night around like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, I'm sleeping and I feel a little drizzle or something come out of me, and I'm like, I wake up and I'm like, I'm grown, so I know I'm not peeing, but I was like, I never have none of like my water break with none of my pregnancy, so I don't know what it's like, for water to break. So apparently, I guess it really does kind of start and stop, depends on how it comes out or whatever. So anyway, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just tripping. So I'm trying to go back to sleep and I feel it again. So I jump up again and I'm like, okay, I ain't tripping. So I didn't go back to sleep. I'm sitting and I'm like, okay, it's going to come. So it's like 7 minutes coming, nothing. And then I feel it again. And I was like, okay, I'm up. Something's happening. It's like, because then I tried to hold it in and it was still coming out. So I was like, okay. So I get up. I kind of look on the bed. It's blood on the bed. So I'm like, oh. I wake him up. And he, of course, he wasn't doing pills at that very moment. Like he was not, like, around the time when my daughters had, was born.
So she's saying something was drizzling out of her and she just kept laying there, and then it started drizzling again, and she's still just laying there, and it was drizzling again, and she was still just laying there. She never got up. Child.
Born, I think he stopped maybe like three months prior or something. I don't know if he's doing them now. I don't know what he's got going on. So I'm not about to make it seem like as of right now he's doing those, because I don't know. I can't tell you that. So anyway, he smoked himself to sleep. So when I woke him up, he couldn't even comprehend what I was telling him. So I'm like, hey, I'm bleeding. Something's going on. We got to go to the hospital. Right. Him not comprehending. He's like, can we just go in the morning? And I'm like, no. So I said, I'm about to hurry and go take a shower real quick, because it wasn't like nothing serious. It was just like a little couple drizzles or whatever. My apartment at that time was
so that was kind of serious, but go ahead.
Yeah. Because like you can have like some spotting during like pregnancy, and I'm gonna tell you what made me like where I was like, oh yeah, we got to go like now. So
no ma'am, it's very serious. Child by. First of all, you've been in the hospital multiple times. The baby is trying to come. You know the babies are coming. You feeling this drizzle, you just laying there. And then you say you got up and got in the shower because it wasn't that serious. But you told the doctor, are you going to save him or just let him die? Girl, child, bye. Hell no. I'm almost positive. Any pregnant woman damn near examines the toilet paper after they wipe themselves. I mean, a child, goodbye. Early in the pregnancy, you probably be all right, but once you there, because once you're there, you literally be waiting for your water to break. So every wipe, you looking, something there, it's something there, something there, something there, nothing there, nothing there, nothing like. Girl, goodbye. Something's wrong with this child. She said it wasn't that important.
My apartment was like really small, so it was only like 6 steps to the bathroom. The moment I got to the bathroom, I turned around and I turned the light on. I finally got that gush of water that you get when your water breaks. Except for when I got my gush of water, it wasn't a gush of water; it was a gush of blood. Like, I mean, like just blood just pouring out of me. So, I started screaming. I'm like, oh my God, my baby's like, what's going on? So he finally, like, he hears me screaming. He gets up. He comes, like, the entire bathroom floor is just covered in blood. It's like, it's just coming out. So I'm like, call the cops. Like, you got to call an ambulance. Like, right now, I got to go. And he's like, I can't. If I call the verbatim, I actually remember this verbatimly. Out of his mouth, he's like, I can't. If I call the cops, I have to go because he has a warrant and stuff. And, so I'm like, okay, you got to be kidding me. Like, bro, like, you can't, like, I'm like, okay, I get it, whatever. I'm like, okay.
That's definitely not true unless he has a mass murderer warrant or something. Like, if he's on first 48, like if they got his flyer sitting in their car, then yeah, he can't call the police because he got a warrant. But if he got a little regular warrant, a little child support, a little nothing warrant for real, he can call the paramedics to come and get you. Like, oh man, it's some slow people out here. We realize that, but the shit that she's telling us is out of control, and we really can't believe a thing she's saying.
we drive to the hospital. I'm like, I'm asking if he can drive because, for obvious reasons. He didn't. I drove myself to the hospital while I'm bleeding out, and because the contractions had also started while I'm driving, but because of the severity of what was going on, my contractions were starting at 2 minutes apart. Like it wasn't even 5; it was starting at 2 minutes apart. So it was like, okay, this is getting really, really bad. So before I even get to the hospital, the towel that I had put in my pants completely soaked. The gurney, the hospital floor, like when I tell you, it was just like a trail of blood everywhere. So they were like, they looked at me. They were like, "We're gonna try to keep you pregnant." I looked at them. I said, I wasn't even gonna argue. I'm like, maybe y'all know something I don't. Whatever.
They
So
said they were trying to keep you pregnant. That's what you said.
Yes, while I'm bleeding out, like literally the entire gurney, like there's blood falling onto the floor. It really looked like a murder scene. So they're like, "We're gonna try to keep you pregnant." They left. They come back in maybe 3 minutes later. They was like, "Okay, we can't keep you pregnant. We don't know where this blood is coming from. You're bleeding out." Thank God they were still able to actually hook up the monitors and still like, get both heartbeats for the girls. So it was just real quick. Like, I'm in so much pain. Like at this point, it felt like the contractions were coming every 30 seconds. I could feel them, coming down a little bit. It was just bad. And it's like 20 people coming in the room trying to talk to me at once. They're trying to get me to sign this paper, that paper. They're trying to hurry and rush me out the room so quick that they ended up snatching the IV out my arm. Well, no, they didn't snatch it out my arm, but they almost, like, they had to hurry up and stop and go grab that little IV bar thingy or whatever. So I get in there.
Oh, you remember all this? Girl, bye.
Regardless, I ain't never had no type of surgery. I don't think the only type of procedure I've ever had was having a tooth pulled,
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm gonna pause you right there because the people in the chat, they are like, okay, this is a lot. All right. So
yeah, I talk a lot, y'all. I'm sorry. I'll be trying to give y'all all the details.
All right. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, so at the time that you had those kids, the twins, your other kids was in C.P.S. They were in the system. So after you had your kids, how long before?
Yeah, I'm glad she asked that question. What's food? I wish I was trying to figure out, like, hold up, swell up. Not that she went and got pregnant and had more kids while the other kids was in C.P.S. custody. Okay. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Look at this right here.
Or you got them back?
Okay. So after I had the girls, because I had an open case with C.P.S. already regarding the other kids, while my daughters were still in the NICU, they took custody of them. So altogether, I got all my kids back by the time my daughters turned 8 months. So like, yeah.
Okay.
So they took custody of the new kids from the hospital. Oh shit, what am I doing?
Altogether, I got all my kids back by the time my daughters turned 8 months. So like, kids back. So regarding the other kids, while my daughters were still in the NICU, they took custody of them. So altogether, I got all my kids back by the time my daughters turned 8 months.
Okay. All right. Now, what we know is that you have to have lost your children for a certain, like, how do I word this? Because they wouldn't have taken the twins unless it's for a reason. You get what I'm saying? So they actually took the 3 children for something. I don't know if it was drug use and she couldn't give positive drug test or what it was, but that resulted in them taking the twins also. We know this. I can't even. I'm trying to think. Because we watched something like this on YouTube before where the mother lost custody, but then she had some more kids and she still got them kids. We watched it before, y'all. So for them to have taken the twins also from the hospital, it's because of her. It's because of something she was doing. Whatever she did to lose the previous children, they felt that the other kids weren't safe with her too. I don't know. And we know she told us she was smoking weed. So ain't no telling what else she was doing.
So like, yeah.
Okay,
So
so your kids were in a system. You get pregnant with twins. You give birth, and then you don't get to take your twins because they took them too.
yeah, so they took custody of them, but I could actually still see them and everything because my daughters, because they were born premature, they were in the hospital for 3 months. So because the hospital is pretty much supervised 24/7, I could go and see them and yeah, I could go see them and all that. But also, I also didn't know that CPS had taken custody until 2 weeks before they were taking my daughters home. So
Okay.
they try to play it cool all the way up until then. Excuse me. But when I had my daughters, I actually had a really good job. So I was still on maternity leave. So when at that time my mom stepped up and she took custody of my twins. So because I was still on my maternity leave, I could stay at my mom's house.
So your mom didn't step up and take the other 3 kids? Child. Oh, child.
I
Child.
could stay at my mom's house, during my case. So the first 3 months, yeah, the first 3 months that my mom had the girls, it's like she didn't have them because I was there. I kid you not, I was there every night. Like I only left to go to work and I came right back. Like I was not
Girl, shut
playing.
up.
um,
Shut
and it
up.
wasn't. I made
So
sure
they
that
took,
it wasn't.
wait, so they took your twins
Mhm.
and put them in your mom's care?
Yeah, through kinship.
Okay.
Yep. So my mom took them, but it's for the time that my mom had them.
Is she drinking beer or something? I was wondering what she's drinking. She's making sure she keep it off camera and it's making her burp or the hiccups or whatever. I don't know what it is. But I we need to know why the mother took the twin girls, but she didn't take the previous 3 children that were already in CPS custody. They had been in CPS custody so long that this woman then met a new man, got pregnant by the new man, made it halfway through the pregnancy, delivered the babies. The babies then been in the dang on hospital for what she said, 3 months, something like that. And the mama didn't step up and take the other kids before. Why would CPS even let her take the twins? I'm confused.
she probably only had to do it herself for probably about a month because um after the first 3 months of my maternity leave or whatever, I had to go back to work. But so she had them for that month, but then I was still kind of we were figuring it out for that month or whatever. So by that time, my overnight visitations had started, and my caseworker was so cool because even she was like, I don't get why your case is even a case right now, because in which I am working with lawyers right now with a lawsuit with CPS because they really did some crazy ass stuff. Let me tell you. Well, we'll do it for another time maybe or something because yeah. But anyway, I was still doing my overnight visit.
She gonna sue CPS because her children were truant from school and her children were sick. And what else? You gonna sue CPS for what, ma'am? And then you, child, you're gonna sue CPS, but you just voluntarily gave your children to CPS. Make it fucking make sense. Make that make sense, bitch. Make it make sense. They're not going to give you your children back because you're clearly mentally unstable. How you going to tell us you're going to sue CPS, but you just gave your damn kids to CPS? Child. This is out of pocket. I can't
Visitations
even
and
click
stuff
play
after
back
that
in
month.
it.
So it's like I kind of was living in my house and my mom's house because I wasn't trying to be away from them. So when I got my daughters back, I actually got my daughters and my youngest son back the same day, and then I got my oldest two back maybe a month later. But I was doing so well
She has 5 children.
in my case, and once they realized, because also I had ended up getting a new judge or whatever. And once CPS, as well as the other parties, were caught lying in court, they kind of just like give her back her kids and they closed my case. And that's when they sent me that letter saying everything was unsubstantiated because they knew everything was false that was against me. They knew it was false they knew it was false maybe I'm gonna just say 3 weeks after they had custody of my kids. But because they were getting money from my kids, they were drawing it out and, you
Girl,
know, doing this and adding this and flipping that and just doing all type of stuff. So it took it took a new judge to actually go back and
so
look at.
they knew the allegations were false 3 weeks after they took the 3 older children, but she still met a man, got in a half of a relationship, had a half a pregnancy, delivered the babies. The babies were in the hospital for over 4. I think she said the babies was in the hospital for 8 months or something like that, or it was something about 8 months. The babies was in the hospital for more than 3 months. Really? And you went to court and the judge said, "Oh, you guys are lying. Give her kids back." If they knew this stuff was a lie at 3 weeks, why they didn't give you your kids back? And then why did they take your twins also? Make it make sense, sis.
everything versus the evidence. And he was just like, what are y'all doing? No, we're going to give this lady back her what's your name, because Children's Services was lying saying I didn't have a medical marijuana card. And I was so happy I did that. I said, excuse me, Your Honor. I just held it up. And he was like, what is that? I said, my medical marijuana card. And it was just like,
they was trying to say that your kids had drugs in their system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that never happened.
That's what they were telling you, that they had drugs in their system.
No. So they did.
The kids did have drugs in their system. This is too much for me. Not that you told us you smoked weed while you was pregnant with the twins. Then they took the twins. Then you say you showed the judge your medical marijuana license. Honey, you done lost your dang on kids for drugs. And that's why they took the twins also. Remember, I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, if the FBI took over the case and they found that it was nothing to say that she did anything, and his toxicology report came back just cocaina and fence, then why were her children not immediately returned to her? It's because she was testing positive for drugs and she couldn't provide clean drug tests. That is crazy. That never happened. Girl, it is.
I did have weed in my system, but
And
that
you
wasn't
did.
what they took them for. They didn't even care about that because, like if you do have weed in your system, they're automatically going to open up a case. But the caseworker that they had come out, she saw everything that I have for my daughters where they would be sleeping and stuff like that. So she closed her case on my daughters. Okay, they added them to my already open case, but they already had the separate case open from when I had the weed in my system. With my case on everything that I have for my daughters where they would be sleeping and stuff like that. So she closed her case on my daughters.
She said the caseworker saw everything that she had, where her daughters would be sleeping and everything. So she closed her case. So this woman had a lot of stuff going on, you guys. Obviously, they thought that she couldn't house her children too, if the caseworker was checking to make sure she had places for the babies to sleep. This crazy. How many times she been homeless?
Okay, they added them to my already open case, but they already had the separate case open from when I had the weed in my system when they were born. But she closed her case, pretty much after the first home visit, because I was working 2 jobs as well as doing a couple other things while I was pregnant, which probably also led to them coming early.
And this would explain why she said that her daughters have therapy appointments all over Ohio multiple times a week. Remember, we were trying to figure out if something was physically or mentally wrong with the children. Why would they be having multiple therapy appointments all over multiple times a week? And they aren't even 3 years old yet. It has to be something physically going on. Weed in her system. The babies were preemies. Oh, child, Lord only knows what's all going on with them babies. That's a damn mess.
So I had actually created like a humongous stockpile. So it actually lasted my mom all the way, the 8 months that she had them, and probably the first 3 months that I had from when I brought them home. Like that stockpile was huge. Like it was big. So yeah, she closed her case. They transferred it to the case I already had open. They closed my case. I got all my kids back, and I'm trying to think what year this was. I got all my kids back in 2020. I want to say 2021. No, 2022. Yeah, 2022.
It was 2022. Okay, y'all remember at the beginning of this live, remember I went to her Facebook and she was talking about the watermelon and how she don't trust the government, and all you heard in the background was her daughters screaming. Screaming, screaming, screaming at the top of their lungs. Now, we need to understand that she had just got custody of them babies back. She hadn't had custody of the kids for 8 months. They went from the hospital to C.P.S. to her mother, and then her mother had them for 8 months, and then she got them. She recorded that video in 2022, and the babies were screaming at the top of their lungs. And she's saying, ignore my daughter. She's just a crybaby, crybaby. She was a neglectful ass mother then, and she hadn't had custody of the kids for no time. They should have never been given back to her. Go on to May 2024. She dropped her kids off at C.P.S. 2022, she just got the babies back. 2024, she's dropped them off at C.P.S. Make this make sense.
Too, because I forgot. Well, I didn't forget, but my daughter was born in November. So yeah, I got all my kids back in 2022. So I haven't seen or talked to nobody as far as like, dude's mom or anybody like that, including my baby dad, since I got my kids back. So they can't tell you what is going on, because it's all these. I have noticed like, all these different narratives and stuff, and it don't bother me because some of the stuff I really do be laughing at, but some of the other stuff was like, oh dang, I didn't even know that happened. I mean, where was I at? And so
Right.
I don't pay attention to a lot of the stuff that's just not true. But that's really the stories of my baby dads. And I have over and over again, I've asked for help and stuff, because
So
also
your
right
mom is
before
not willing to help. What about your sister that just came to the car? Like, your sister didn't want to help you with your kids?
no, that's the thing. My family has helped me. It's not like, oh, I always need help or no, because I've had daycare and stuff like that, but they have tried to help. It's just not no space. Like, and then it's also like, I'm not the only one who got stuff going on. They had stuff going on too. And it's, I was 15 when I had my first. I'm 27 now. My family's been there. So it's like at this point, shout out to my family. Thank y'all so much. But it was time for the dads to step up. It don't necessarily have to be their family, but the dads, yes, because everybody's lashing out at me. But I'm like, okay.
What you mean it's time for the dads to step up? You mean it's time for C.P.S. to step up? Because you didn't drop the kids off on the dad's doorsteps this time. You dropped your children off with C.P.S. This is out of freaking pocket. And I just really, oh my goodness, y'all. I couldn't even imagine the older two boys' fathers actually seeing this shit going viral and realizing his children are in C.P.S.'s custody again. This is out of fucking pocket. This is out of pocket, y'all.
Hey, did y'all ask the dad where they been at? Because now that I've gone viral and I'm gaining like, the exposure and stuff like that. Now they're telling the narrative of, oh, I've tried to get my kids and and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, now that I'm viral, I bet you've tried to get your kids home. But where were you when I've been trying to hit you up for 11 years? Where were you the last 3 years? I've been trying to hit you up. And what happened with, didn't you just tell the cops 30 minutes before I walked them in there that you didn't want them? But they're not going to, of course, they're not going to do that narrative, because of course everybody's trying to do whatever they can for click.
Y'all hear she said, where were you at the last 11 years when I tried to hit you up? I want all of y'all to remember that, okay? Remember that she said that. Keep that comment in your head. Where were you at the last 11 years? She's talking about the oldest boy's father. Keep that in your head. Remember that. Remember
Where were
it.
you the last 3 years? I've been trying to hit you up. And what happened with, didn't you just in years? Where were you the do you've tried to get your kids home, but where were you when I've been trying to hit you up for 11 years? Where were you the last 3 years I've been trying to hit you up?
You hear? She said 11 years. That's one baby daddy. Where were you at for the last 3 years? That's the other baby daddy. Remember that 11-year number. Just remember it. I don't even know if we're going to get through this entire freaking video, but I want y'all to just remember that. Remember, even if we don't come back to this until tonight or tomorrow, remember she said she couldn't get in touch with him for 11 years. Just remember, y'all.
And what happened with, didn't you just tell the cops 30 minutes before I walked them in there that you didn't want them? But they're not going to, of course, they're not going to do that narrative because, of course, everybody's trying to do whatever they can for clickbait or, because not everybody's used to trying to, get in this type of attention. And I accidentally went viral. I just needed, not attention, but I needed documentation, like I said, because I know how they do crazy stuff because I've already been through, the ringer with them. So I wanted to make sure that before Children's Services was going to try to do anything and flip it and try to say that I don't have a plan or I'm this way or that way. Nope. It's 2 million other people besides of the backlash, but it's 2 million people who heard me tell this lady, say, I got a plan. I'm coming back for my kids, regardless what y'all talking about. I'm coming back for my kids. And like I said, I'm just coming back for my kids regardless. So like whatever it looks like on the outside, I don't know.
Okay.
But
Ma'am, you cannot just drop your children off in CPS's custody and say, okay, watch them for this amount of time. I'm coming back for them. That's not how it works. It doesn't even matter if you recorded that lady's face while you were telling her, I'm coming back for my kids. They don't have to give you them children back. And honestly, they shouldn't. Any mother that has multiple CPS cases, kids have been in CPS custody before, and you come back and drop these kids off, they shouldn't give you the children back. They shouldn't. No reason.
I did this for them.
All right, so we get to the part where you had lost custody, you regained custody back, and then now last week you gave them to CPS. So not gave them to CPS, to a family. You went to CPS, but then you ended up placing them with somebody that you trust them to be with, right?
Yeah, because like I said, once they realized like there really wasn't nothing wrong with me, there's actually no concern for their safety and stuff. They was like, we don't want to have to actually take custody of your kids if we don't have to, because if we take custody, although there's nothing going on, it's going to be a struggle to get them back, and we don't want to have you have to go through that when you don't have to. So we devised the plan. Like I actually created, they said, if you can create your own case plan before you walk out this building tonight, we're going to give you custody of your kids back, because technically on the video, you hear them say they took custody of the kids, right? Mm-hmm. But they legally didn't take custody yet because we didn't go to court. Because when I dropped them off, it was a Friday night. The courts is closed Saturday and Sunday. So I had already devised of a plan. Well, not like a plan, but like a case plan or a family plan before that Monday, and already had them, I already had foster people.
And that's what the mother meant. Remember at the beginning of this live, I told y'all, the mama said something about the kids is not with CPS. And the mama said something about she went back and got some of the children. And the CPS worker wouldn't disclose to her why the mom didn't take all of them. So we hear her saying, y'all heard what she just said, child. She knew exactly what the fuck she was doing. So this whole thing was just to go viral. She literally, did she just use CPS as a babysitter and record it? She said the courts is closed Saturday and Sunday, so Monday I already knew I had a plan. Wow.
Or people who had stepped up, wanting to help me. So,
wow.
Before that Monday came, that Sunday, I'm all right, I got somebody, So when Monday came, they don't have a case. They don't got kids to take custody of. And yeah, I don't have an open case with Children's Services. I have legal custody of all my kids. I wrote a letter saying, to who my kids are with right now that, I'm getting myself together. We had it notarized. They just have temporary guardianship, and, my kids are temporarily residing with them because I don't.
The grandmother is saying she doesn't have all of the children.
Don't know what the status is of my house, you know, because once they you know, they burned it down and stuff, everything's repaired now, but they still are not helping me out with, you know, the situation with my rent. They're not trying to do anything with the food, reimburse me. They're not trying to do anything. So, and I told them, I was like,
so if you're getting 150 for these interviews, 150, 150, 150, why haven't you taken your children back home yet? Mm-hmm. That's exactly what she did. That's exactly what she did. So why haven't you taken your children back home now? She posting the 150 screenshots, so she got money. She got grocery money. Why she ain't took her kids home? This is out of pocket, y'all. So understand, the mother that went viral for dropping her children off and giving C.P.S. custody never actually gave C.P.S. custody. She just used C.P.S. to babysit her children until Sunday night or Monday. And now the children are with a undisclosed person. She gave them a notarized letter that they have temporary custody of her children. Child, bye. Girl, bye. Girl, is it her mama or no? This is out of freaking pocket, y'all. So she done went viral, and she's saying the kids aren't even with CPS. Ain't this some shit? Didn't I tell y'all that was abuse? Did people say at least she didn't abuse them? What you call having a whole conversation with your kids about you giving up custody of them and sending them to CPS just so you could have a free weekend, knowing that you was gonna get them to a family member or something? I don't even, I'm so speechless at this point because what? What? Did you just force them to take the kids? And you acting like everything is sweet. And they gonna get the kids back because trust, they don't want the children. They do not want all 5 of them kids. But obviously their heart would not let them kids be in the system. So they have the children in their home, but they don't want all them kids. It took for her to actually take them and drop them off at CPS for somebody to step up. So they don't want them. Oh my. My child. Right. It's all good. She got that notarized paper. Probably got it notarized at the corner liquor store. I'm too done. This bitch is too smart for her own good, y'all.
you know, because, you know, I told you I had that the job and stuff. So I was like, well, you know, my next paycheck won't be until the 10th or whatever. You know, I might be able to throw something then, but I don't know because, you know, you guys kind of cut into my hours, obviously.
Child, she got paid on the 10th. Ooh, y'all. Look at that. Gave her kids up on the 4th, got paid on the 10th.
So I don't know what I'm going to be getting paid. So they was like, well, we're not going to wait till the 10th, you know? And I was like, I mean, don't you guys think you guys should work with me at some point? Because it's literally not my fault. I didn't burn down my house. Y'all did. Mm-hmm. And it's his house. You know, his work is his house. So I don't see why I have to be getting ready to lose everything. And I worked so hard, like literally.
I thought the house was the first time, or are you talking about now?
No, the house that they burned down, like they already repaired it, got everything back up and working, because what they did is they caught the electrical wires on fire, so the whole back of the house had caught on fire. Not so. Let me you know, clarify. Not the entire house. It was the back of the house that caught on fire. Excuse me. It was the back of the house that they caught on fire, so we couldn't live there. Excuse me, for obvious reasons, until they could fix and repair and go through and, excuse me, get everything cleaned up and stuff. So, excuse me. So
you all right?
Yeah, just hiccups. I have hiccups every day.
Oh,
I don't lie. It's just
so, well, I'm gonna pause you right there. All right. So you gave them up, and then there's viral posts that you made that was 2 days later after you dropped the kids.
Yep. I know which one you talk about.
Huh?
I know which one you about to say. The one shaking my ass, shaking my butt.
Yeah. So there was a post where you said that you couldn't wait to go shake your tail or whatever.
Yes, when I tell you, social media, it's not my fault that they have selective reading and selective hearing, because anybody, did you happen to see that post that they were referencing? So if anybody could actually like,
go.
I was about to say, she definitely seen the post. She has the post. Girl, bye. You said what you said.
But go ahead.
Oh, if anybody was actually reading it, like, when I promise you, it's like they saw the words, club, shake, and the A word, my butt, and stuff like that. They saw them 3 words and they was like, up, she for the streets. But what they don't realize is I was saying I want to go clock in, a regular job. Once I get off that job, take my butt to a strip club, because, like, regardless of what nobody says, I've stripped before. I was making $1,400 a night before in Florida, and I wasn't doing no extra stuff. I wasn't, you don't have to mess with nobody, suck nothing, touch nothing. You don't have to do that at all. If you you can go dance and really get your money. I don't know what they be talking about, but
yeah. So
I said I wanted to clock in.
So why you wasn't doing that and getting your money instead of dropping your kids off with C.P.S. talking about money and this and that? You don't have no money. You don't know how no money. If you can go in the club and shake your ass and you ain't got to get nude or touch nothing, why are your children not with you?
I just want to clock in, get some money, then go shake some A in someone's club and get some more, then flip it into more money, then go OT and pick up and get the bag there.
What I don't know where they were getting that from, because I mean, maybe I worded it differently or something, but into a coherent person.
So when Neek reads the entire post to her, she says, I don't know where they're getting that from. You said people got selective reading. She just read the entire post. Now you get stuck, stutter, and stupid. I don't know where they're getting that from. Yeah. That's exactly what you said. That's what you said, sis. My question is, if you have a legit job to go clock in at, why did you take your kids to C.P.S? You got a legit job. Why you need to clock out from your legit job and then go shake some ass in somebody's club? And what was the point in posting that? And why haven't you been doing that? I'm so confused. But I'm not confused. I understand. You're a top head. I get it. Got it. Good. There's no confusion. You a top head.
It sounds like I'm saying I'm doing everything I can to get some money to invest and flip it. And, pretty much I'm mainly talking about generating multiple streams of income to invest and flip again. Just residual income.
She sound like a whole damn idiot. All this flipping and flipping. She ain't flipped a damn thing but her body upside down on the stripper pole. That's it.
So they saw the 3 words, the A word, the shake, and club, and they lost their stuff.
Now, since they seen the entire post and Neek just read the entire post, you still trying to act like people didn't read the whole post and we don't know exactly what the fuck you said. It wasn't taken out of context. That's what you said, girl. Own up to what you said. Dang. Then you said I'm outside tonight. What that mean?
That ain't my fault.
Okay.
That ain't my fault.
All right.
So people were talking about that post, and then people were talking about you also set up a GoFundMe prior to you giving them away.
Child.
No, so there's actually, what I said is, after I did give the kids up, what I wanted to do was set up a GoFundMe page so that money I could give to the foster moms to help take care of the kids while I got myself together, So I never did get to set up a GoFundMe because I actually wanted to try to do it through a bank or something, to where, the foster moms, or I don't know if it's like a possible thing, but I'm trying to think, because I don't know about no trust funds all the way like that. So I was just trying to get it to, where it was set up to where the money didn't go to me, to GoFundMe. I wanted it to go to the kids while I got myself together, because of course, although they would have the GoFundMe or the trust funds or whatever, I'm still gonna.
She did say that. And within her post, if you read it, she did say that. She said that she wanted the trust to be set up where the children were the only ones that could access it. I think at 18 or something like that. She did say that, y'all. What in the world just happened?
Be providing. It's not like I'm gonna be a deadbeat. Like, even now, I'm still providing, you know, like a lot. So it was just like, yeah, I don't know. They took that whole narrative. I don't know. They just did too much. So yeah, there is no GoFundMe for the kids. I haven't made any money except for I was paid $150 for an interview. I have a couple other interviews where people, you know, not just people, but just like other platforms or radio stations and stuff who's like, hey, I'll pay you for an interview. Of course, I'm going to get paid for the interview. Yes, I'm going to say, hey, yeah, cool. You want to pay me for an interview? Yes, I'm going to take the interview because I'm taking that money right back to my kids. And if I don't take it to my kids, it's going to be put into a...
That's crazy, y'all. She's getting money for the interviews. She didn't get paid for this interview, true enough, but she's got paid for other interviews, and she ain't took her kids back. So I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. Today is Mother's Day, and she posted she's going to spend time with her children, then run errands. She haven't took her children back home.
A business where I'm making money because that money, of course, is going back to my kids. So it's like,
okay, I just want to make it clear to the audience, though. On my platform, I don't pay for interviews. I just get authentic conversations going, and if the person,
this one I did not. Yeah, this one I did not get paid for. I want to throw that out there, but
yeah, because I just want to make it clear, because people, you know, they'll be thinking like, nah. I just, you know, my platform is definitely gonna.
She tried to get that $150. Meek laughed and said, girl, bye. I think she might have went back and looked at Neek's platform and then decided, yeah, I'm going to do this interview because she has almost 400,000 subscribers. So I'll skip that money and I'll do the interview on this panel with this lady that has 400,000 subscribers. Child, when she asked for the money, I thought the interview wasn't gonna be kicked off, but the interview was still done, y'all. So she reached back out to Neek and was like, "She fuck the money. You still want to talk? Okay."
Draw, you know, eyes on the story and things like that. And if they want to donate to you, they can. So that's why I told you can put your Cash App in your headline so that if anybody wants to donate to your cause, then they can. But so you have been getting money from doing interviews and things like that so that you can provide for your kids?
Yeah, so like because I was telling everybody, like, you know, like everybody wants me to be taking that money, going clubbing, buying this and buying that. No. And some of the most of the interviews having.
I'm fucking appalled. Let me make my surprise noise. I'm appalled. Not that you said everyone wants you to take the interview money and go clubbing and partying. I'm a fucking appalled, bitch, because I didn't recommend anything like that. Oh my, who's everybody? Are you talking about your pill popping friends? Yeah, that's probably who you're talking about, sis. Because none of the normal people actually advise for you to take the interview money and go party it up. But that's what you said, right? That's what you said, bitch. You said, I'm on the way to the studio. The studio's not free. I'm on the way to the studio and I want some big za. I'm pulling up on my mama. And then in the video, you said you're looking for some za. They can pull up on you or you'll pull up on them. Za's not free. Studio's not free. So you're spending the money on weed and studio time and probably whatever else. Okay.
Even came up just yet. Like some of them, so I'm not going to get paid for an interview I haven't done just yet, but like for sure, you know, they reached out to me. They already let me know they're going to pay me. So, you know, once the interview is complete or upon arrival, I'm going to get the money type of thing, you know? And, you know, these are legit and reliable, or not reliable, but these are legit radio stations and stuff. So I don't have a reason to believe that they would lie, but I got it in writing, so it don't matter. So, but yeah, I'm like, and then on top of that, it's not even just that, because like everybody's like, oh, you're trying to capitalize off your kids. Da, 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 da. I'm like, no, you guys technically made me viral about me trying to get documentation. You guys made me viral. You guys gave me the exposure, the attention. So, you know, I am getting a lot of backlash for, you know, making my choice. And it really was a hard choice. So like, regardless if I don't show it on the...
That is true. I can't even fault her for what she's saying. We made her viral. if we didn't actually click on the video and share the video and continuously watch the video of her giving them kids away to CPS, it wouldn't be viral right now. We did that. That's very much true. It would have just been a crazy ratchet looking video out here with about 6,000 views of some ratchet lady giving her kids to CPS. But unfortunately, we have made that freaking video and this woman viral for giving her kids to CPS.
The outside is not their business to know how I'm feeling on the inside. You know, I already gave them enough peek into my pain, you know. But
yep, still trifling.
So it's just like
but it's true.
I forgot what I was about to say. Never mind.
Yeah.
We were talking about the reason why you were accepting money and things like that.
Oh yeah. So like obviously and it's like my city is so confused. They don't know whether they want to be. They're really confused. So like, you know, obviously the reason for me giving my kids up is because I'm tired of us struggling and I want to give us a better future by any means. So they're thinking like I'm using this situation and milking off my kids.
For her to say her city is confused, we should be confused also. Because if the people closest to her don't trust her story and they're side-eyeing her story, it's for a reason. It's very much for a reason. Ain't no damn way. It ain't no way at all. And I've even seen some comments in her live, on the CPS live. The people were in the comments and they like, wow, I know her from a couple years ago. She wasn't struggling like that. I can't believe she's struggling like that. I can't believe she's struggling. And I'm looking like, look at these people looking for clout. They don't even know her. Look at them looking for clout. But she just said her people in her city don't trust her story. So it's something not right to it. We don't know what exactly it is, but for the people closest to her to be doubting what she's talking about and putting shade on it, it's because some stuff is not true.
It's like, no, the situation with me and my kids is what you guys gave me, you know, national attention about or whatever. Not national, I don't know what the hell, you know what I mean. But, you know, you guys got me viral off of that. So I'm taking that exposure and I'm going to take all that negativity that I'm getting and I'm going to turn it into something positive, as well as raising awareness for single mothers who do need help. Girl, it's okay if you need help. If you need that help, go get that help. It is There's nothing wrong with that, because a lot of my comments is, it's okay to be a black strong.
Y'all better understand, this female is a scammer. That is what she is. Do not think that you can go to your local fire department and just drop your goddamn kids off and you're going to get them Monday morning. Don't think that you're going to go and sit in front of a damn CPS worker and go live talking about how you just love your kids, but you just can't do it right now and your health and you want to better yourself and better yourself. They're going to take your goddamn kids and put them away somewhere and you're not going to get them back. Don't y'all start no damn dumbass bandwagon thinking y'all going to get some money and go viral like this idiot. Honey, don't do it. I'm advising for you to not do it. Don't think you're going to just go back and grab them children like everything is sweet.
Struggling mom. Everybody out here is struggling. Well, the reason why everybody think it's so normal is because I don't know if anybody's realized that the narrative for black women is, guess what? A black struggling woman or a black struggling mom. I'm not okay with that narrative that they've set for generations. So it's like a repetitive cycle of black moms. That's why I'm just pretty much, I'm not okay with that narrative. I'm not comfortable stuck in the hood. You know, I'm not comfortable.
I don't even understand what she's talking about. She's not comfortable with that narrative. She didn't send her kids to CPS. So what narrative are you comfortable with?
With struggling, you know, I guess that's why we're, you know, two different places. You know, I'm not saying I'm two different places, but like two different paths, I should say, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna change my narrative because I've struggled for too long. So before I get my kids back, I'm not going to be in the hood no more. I tell you that much. And, you know, like I said, I'm not going to milk this situation. You know, I'm not using my kids for clickbait or nothing. I'm taking this situation and I'm letting people know, like, you know, hey, I do music. I like photo shoots. I model. I do all type of crazy, you know, not crazy things, but I do all type of stuff. You know, I'm not just in school. I'm not just working. I do all kind of things, you know. So like, I'm always down to make some money. So it's like, they're like, oh, you're accepting interviews for money. Yeah, I gave my kids up for money for a better future for us. So Why would I not take the money?
I'm too down with her, y'all.
So they're mad that I'm trying. They're mad that I gave my kids up for a brighter future, but my city is also trying to do anything they can to stop me from getting money to go back for my kids. So like, my city is delusional. Like, there's really no type of growth. That's why a lot of people who do start getting attention or whatever, they look elsewhere because there's no type of support in
the city delusional or you're delusional.
My city, because nobody wants to see somebody else eating unless it's them. And I even told everybody today, like, you know, right now, and you know, it's crazy that my viralness or whatever came from me exposing the reality of, you know, my life, you know, my pain, my heartbreak or whatever, you know. But, you know, like I said, I'm telling everybody, but they're so mad at me. Is like, but they don't want to get money. And if you're a real business person, you know how to set your emotions to the side, because I can get money with anybody I don't like. I'm sorry, that's just me. So I'm telling everybody today, like, you know,
this is very strange. She's like a tweaker, a fiend for real. Honestly, that just came up on a little bit of viral sensation. She getting a couple little $150, and all she want to talk about is getting money, getting money, getting money. But at the end of the day, she just told us that she gave her kids up to C.P.S. and didn't have no food and this and that. But you talking all this getting money, getting money, getting money. You talk too much and you have no action. If you were all about this getting money mentality, you wouldn't be in the place you are right now. Your children wouldn't be in C.P.S. custody. You wouldn't be talking about you gave your kids up for a better life to get money because you already getting money. Mix us with that foolery. Nobody want to hear you talking. You sound like a fucking con man. Getting money, getting money, getting money, but you ain't got no damn money. Get out here with that shit.
We all can eat. It don't have to be, you know, just me opening doors or from, you know, getting doors open for me or whatever. It's like, I obviously can't give y'all the contacts that I got because there's two different paths and stuff, obviously. And I was already told not to give my, you know, just other people just, you know, you just don't give their stuff out. So I'm like, you know, my stories are getting between 40 and 50,000 views. So I'm telling people, if you have something that you wanted me to promote or something, pay me and I'll promote it. Because, and I was telling people, I'll do it for $100 for 40 to 50,000 views, and you don't know what's going to come from that at all. But I mean, there's people who boost their post on Facebook for that, you know. So I don't know. My city is like, they don't want to see me eat, but they don't want to eat with me, or it's like, I don't know. They're weird. Like, I don't know, but as long as they know, like, I'm still having doors open for me.
Somebody saying your baby daddy in the chat. Oh, let me see.
Huh?
Oh, snaps.
Somebody said her baby daddy is in the chat. I don't see it, but
I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't know.
Okay, so now what's your plan now? So now that you have given your kids up, you are in search of a better life. What type of opportunities are you looking forward to, and what is your plan going forward? And what do you look for out of this whole situation?
So
somebody in the chat, Yella, is saying, "Where's my daughter?"
Oh, a lot of
this person in Neek's chat is saying, "Where's my daughter?" They're saying her baby daddy is in the chat, so I started paying attention to the chat. This person, "Where's my daughter?" I think this is a troll though, because it's twin. So he will be saying, "Where are my daughters?" I don't know.
Let me just kind of let the bag out, because I didn't want to kind of, you know, I didn't want people messing it up for me, because I already told you how hating my city is right now. So actually this past Monday, I actually did an interview with a company. I got the job, but I haven't started that job just yet, because I'm getting 2 more licenses outside of the medical certifications and licenses I'm getting ready to attain with my state test and stuff. So I got that job, but I'll also start another job, a second job, coming up here in a couple days on the 14th. So that's 2 jobs already secured, you know, and 2 jobs and now 2 more licenses outside of the phlebotomy, EKG, you know, whatever comes with a medical assistant. But my medical assistant, I went national with my license or my certification, but I'm getting my license. So I'm nationally, I will be nationally licensed for my medical assistant thing. So, you know.
Oh, somebody said, is your baby daddy named Yella?
Huh? No. Yella.
Somebody in the chat with the name Yella is saying, where is their daughter? Or something like that.
Yella. Hold on, let me see what you're talking about. I don't know. Yella, I don't see what you're talking about.
Yella is asking about his daughter and where is the daughter? You have a baby by somebody named Yella?
No, I don't know. I've never heard that name.
Child, we confused altogether.
And yeah, I definitely don't know who Yella is because he wouldn't be saying daughter. He'd be saying daughters, plural.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact my baby daddy ain't asking where his daughters was because he got my number and he still ain't even asked me. So, so yeah, I don't know about all that.
Okay. All right. So when we talked earlier, you said that you were going to the studio. You got music that's coming out?
Yes. So I'm also in another college. So I told you I graduated the medical one. I'm also in a separate college. I'll be done next year with my bachelor degree in music recording and audio production with a concentration in communication. So I'll be done with that. But yes, I do music and kind of breaking out into it. So I posted a rough draft, and it's like a lot of people, I don't think they really know what a rough draft is. But anyway, I was going to the studio earlier to actually, officially record my single. It's called Into That. So I was, going to officially record that, do my ad libs and stuff, getting ready for its release and stuff. So yeah. Plus, I have a couple other songs that will be dropping after that, but yeah. But I definitely wanted to show my rough draft.
Yep, and that's that is the video we watched at the very beginning of this live. They called her Legion 2.0. I am too done. Not she's Legion 2.0, y'all. Oh my God, she definitely is. That's funny. But that's the live we watched when this video first started. She titled it, she wants some on the way to the studio, needs some big za, somebody pull up or something like that. So she was going to the studio and she was looking for weed.
Okay, so you're doing music.
Yeah, she definitely done drunk some beer or something. What beverage give you the hiccups like that? And it's in a can. She was drinking out of a can. She didn't drunk something. Them hiccups, child.
You're doing music, and then what other opportunities have come your way? Because on your Facebook, you said that now that this situation has happened, you have all these opportunities coming. You said that now that this situation has happened,
drink or something.
Have all these opportunities coming.
Yes. So I got so many offers for brand ambassadors. Well, paid offers to be brand ambassadors for different companies. I'm not going to say the companies just yet because I don't.
Girl, your ass went viral for giving your kids to C.P.S. and now you're viral for a negative reason. Oh, her delusions run completely wild. This is funny. Brand ambassador. Oh, okay. All right.
Don't know if, I ain't trying to mess nothing up. I don't know if I get in trouble or not, but I've had, countless offers for being paid brand ambassador for all these different companies, interviews, podcasts, couple photo shoots coming up because I model and stuff. And actually I got
the plainest Jane said, girl, so you do some of everything, but you're broke. We don't believe you. Girl, y'all remember, if that's the same as Plain as Jane, I used to watch her covering the R. Kelly stuff. I really liked her channel. I don't know if that's the same girl, but I really liked her channel during the R. Kelly days.
Somebody wants me to be on their runway, like, their runway fashion show. So I can't wait for that. I got a couple things in Miami, a couple interviews and photo shoots in Miami. Somebody said to come down to California. They're plugged in. They want to introduce me to some people. Not going to mention any names, but a countless countless other amount of very well-known established people have reached out, lend their hand to me. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I just know that I'm doing something that anybody else would have done with this type of exposure. You're gonna
But it's good to see that Brenda's baby survived and
Oh my
became a
God.
mother and a musician. Now that's what I call resilience.
huh? Brenda.
They
I don't know.
they being silly.
I'm too freaking. Oh gosh, this is some yeah.
Real quick, I don't know why the moment the moment you said
Yes.
Brenda, I was thinking about DMX's when he was like Brenda, Letitia, the other songs.
My
Yeah.
God.
But
They talking about Tupac. Brenda's got a baby.
Wow.
She threw the baby in the trash can. They saying that baby.
They saying you're the baby from the trash can. Hey, yeah. I lost my freaking pen to my phone again. I forgot to tell y'all this morning. I lost my pen to my phone again. I've been looking for it for a couple hours today. Yeah, I think it might be in the truck, but I'm not sure. Called her the baby from the trash can that Brenda disposed of.
Became you. That's what they saying.
Ooh, yep, take a drink on that. Take a drink on that.
I guess I mean I love Tupac, but I don't know about that one. I don't know about that song or whatever.
All right, so you got modeling. So from you going viral, so what's your end goal like with all the exposure and attention that you're getting? Like, what do you hope to achieve?
All right, y'all, we've been here for too long. Shoot, oh my gosh. My patience isn't set up for it, but I'm trying it with y'all, okay? So we're going to pause that again. We're going to pause again. Neek, girl, that's a long freaking interview. So far, it's being split up into 3 parts. Like, geez Louise. We did part this morning. Now we just did another part, y'all, and I got to go. Like, look at the time. I was supposed to be dressed and together, hair done and everything, and I'm not none of that at all. I'm getting ready to fix me another mimosa though. So okay. I'm gonna fix me another mimosa. And then I'm gonna get myself in the shower and I'm gonna get ready for my Mother's Day dinner with my family. Thank y'all for being the real MVPs. Y'all made it 2 hours and 50 minutes. Girl, we've been here for almost 3 hours. And boy, I see you, bruh and sis. I see you in the chat. Okay. So I'm gonna talk to y'all in the next video, love bugs. We've been here for too long. I gotta get it together. I'm running late now. Thank y'all for joining me. Happy Mother's Day to all my beautiful, beautiful love bugs out there. I will talk to y'all in our next reaction video. Bye, y'all.